It should be pretty even. For most people this is fine. I like to strop afterwards because one, it doesn't leave any micro scratches, or it refines the scratches, and two, if I did miss any burr, it's gonna come off with these strops. So first up is the 2 micron CBN from Precise Sharpening. This is sold by Ken Schwartz. He has some fantastic products. If you like CBN or diamond sprays, look up his products. They're available directly from him or from Chef Knives to Go. Set the arm a bit lower because the blank I'm using is a standard aluminum blank, and the leather is hand American leather, and it isn't as thick as my stones. So I know that I have to lower the angle a bit. If you've done this before, you know how much to lower it. Otherwise, just use the marker. With leather, only use trailing strokes. You'll notice why when you do it the other way around. You'll just scrape off any remnant of the or any letter of the blank, causing you to replace the blank and spray new compound on it. And let's face it, most compounds aren't that cheap. The CBN is pretty cheap at $30, I think, or $38 a bottle. Lasts a pretty long time. I've been using CBN for, I think, 4 months now, or 3 months maybe. I think I sprayed this blank maybe 2 or 3 times. It only needs 2 spritzes and it's ready to go. Make sure it's dry before you use it. Some people like stropping with wet compounds. I don't, because you're basically smearing off every compound onto the blade and off the blank. So you're actually removing your compound from the blank. Not what you want. This is for sprays, not wax-based compounds. They're a bit easier, but they're not as precise as these compounds. So the same on the other side as we did before. You notice I wobbled there. That's because the choil here on the Maestro Wu is a bit thicker, so I tend to move it a bit more backwards so it doesn't wobble. If you're doing this freehand, it's completely different, of course. But I'm not that good on V-bevels freehanded. I can do some good edges, but not the same as I can do on the Edge Pro. Don't use any pressure on the blanks, by the way. I forgot to mention it. You use too much pressure, you're gonna round off the edge. It's not what you want. So at this level, it should shave hair effortlessly. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. If you pop your finger on the edge, you can actually hear it sing. That's always a good sign. It's the same with razors, of course. I deburr after the CBN because I've noticed that it can leave a little burr. CBN is pretty aggressive. Not as aggressive as poly or mono diamond at the same grit, but it's still pretty aggressive. So it cuts fast, that's why I like it. Lasts a long time. So I take another bit of paper. Yes, the paper is below the camera, that's why it's taking so long. So let's try again. Well, that looks pretty nice. I'm gonna skip the 1.5 CBN mainly because you're not gonna find it anymore. Ken, maybe he still has it, I'm not sure, but he doesn't really sell it on the websites. If you use a 2 micron silicon carbide from Keep, which is just as great as a CBN, actually a tad more easier to apply because it's not a spray. Well, that's just me. Well, you're gonna get the same results, almost the same results. I'm using the, yeah, I said I was gonna skip the 1.5 CBN, I'm still taking it now. Stupid. So you're not gonna find it anymore. From 2 micron to 1 micron isn't that big a jump. It's not that big of a problem. The 1 micron boron carbide from Keith is fantastic. It's easy to apply. It's got a silky smooth feel to it. I really like it. It's my favorite compound because it gives you the best edge out of when you're using only one compound. So if you want just one compound, adding the let's see if it's flat here. Okay, the boron carbide and the 1 micron diamond sprays are probably the best out there. I don't know if you had noticed, but this is a blank with some magnetic backing, so I can just put on leather blank just like Keith's strop, but this one's I made specially for the Edge Pro. It's easier because you can keep the same angle. You just have to switch blanks or switch leather pads. It's a bit faster. Also, as you notice, this one is a bit thicker than the CBN, so you have to raise it up a bit again to make sure you're hitting the bevel exactly the way you want. Same progression as last time. The boron carbide doesn't last as long as CBN. I'll tell you that. It probably lasts, well, I think, 10 or 12 knives probably, and then you'll really notice that it's wearing out. It's not that it won't cut, it just won't cut as fast. Well, depending on amount of strokes you do per knife. What I tend to do is just reapply over the old compound, and if it gets a bit too thick, I just wipe it off with a paper towel. Otherwise, yeah, it gets a bit clogged. Yeah, that's a nice edge. Flip it over, do the same on the other side as you did before. And basically this is the level I'm gonna stop, because one, you probably, or most of the people at home, aren't gonna sharpen beyond 1 micron. And two, it doesn't really need any better edge. You can use a higher grit, but I don't really need it on this knife, because yeah, it's gonna go on the cutting board pretty soon. I'm gonna refresh it every other week or so. So I don't really go to, let's say, 1/4 micron diamond spray or CBN. Quick deburr again. After the deburring, look at the edge. If you don't see any foil on it, there's no burr left. I always use a loop at the end because otherwise I can't really see it. But I think it's clean. Yeah, looks nice. So, cutting test. So that's what you want. Super smooth, clean cuts. Or at least that's what I want. So, I hope you liked the video. If you're doing it freehand, it's completely different. There are better people out there who can explain freehand sharpening better than I can. But I think I covered the bases pretty well on the Edge Pro. Hope you liked it, and get your Maestro Wu cleaver because it's a fantastic knife. I like the traditional handles, but the regular handles are great as well. And they're available in Europe now as well. If you don't know where to find them, you can always contact me or Chendi to see where you can get them. Thanks. Bye.